Hey, this is your girl, Miss Ruby V, and let me tell you, my mind has been so enlightened on the books that I've been able to read lately, from Michelle Obama's Becoming and my morning guided meditations. This is just my time I'm able to carve out just for me. I always get the question, how do I have time to read? Well, let's just say the Audible changed the game for me. You can choose from thousands of titles, allowing you to listen while commuting, cooking, exercising, gardening, or relaxing at home. Get your 2 free audiobooks and get your me time back. Visit audibletrial.com/The Boom Bap Hour. Again, audibletrial.com/The Boom Bap Hour. Get your 2 free books today.
Bap Hour Uncut.
Let's go.
It's your girl, Miss Ruby B, and this is the Boom Bap Hour Uncut. We have a very, very special guest here on the Ruby B exclusive, Bobby J from Rockaway. What's going on?
Oh, man, I'm doing good. All things considered, I'm doing really well. Thank you for having me.
Yes. And we're so glad to have you on our show. And for those that don't know you, tell us a little bit about Bobby J as an artist and, what you have going on right now.
Yeah, so I'm an artist from Rockaway Beach, Queens, New York. I started out working pretty much under the tutelage of Kwame. He kind of raised me in this industry, was a big mentor for me. I learned a lot from him. I think, my style, if I could describe it in one way, would be to pretty much say it's like classic hip hop inspired. That's definitely the foundation of everything that I do. But I try to make, music that is for today, something that's updated, but, still has the foundation and, in the classic hip hop of the 80s and 90s. And, I put out a project last summer called Summer Classics. Kwame was the executive producer on that album. And just last week I put out a new project called Endless Summer, which is kind of a continuation of that album. And it's actually an EP that's a collaboration with Statik Selektah. So, that's really what I got going on now. And, it just came out last week and I'm just, I'm super excited that I'm finally getting to, release this new music.
Yes, definitely. We definitely will be playing, your hit like right after this interview. So that's going to be really dope. Can't wait to share that with everybody. And so let's just talk about your background and everything. You grew up, your mom, she loved classic rock. Your father was a fan of Motown and funk, and you said your older brother was an MTV junkie. So
yeah.
how did that influence you as an artist?
You said it, I had a pretty diverse influence as far as, the music I was exposed to growing up. So I've always tried to make music with that stuff in the back of my mind. I feel like everything I make, I try to draw some inspiration from something I grew up on, whether it's, classic rock, whether it's, grunge, 90s, hip hop, 90s rock. It's just always me, trying to reach back into the past and take something new out of it. Every time I go in the studio and I try to create, like I said, I try to keep the foundation of, what my parents raised me on, what my brother was listening to, and of course, the hip hop that, Kwame put me onto. Because when I first met him, I knew a lot about hip hop, but I didn't know a lot about, the beginnings of it. I didn't know a lot about, the 70s and the early 80s. So I was lucky enough to have a lot of people around me that just gave me a good foundation. So, like I said, whenever I go in and create, I keep that stuff in the back of my mind and I try to draw inspiration from that as much as possible.
Right, definitely. All right, now you currently still doing your IG and YouTube series called Breakfast Bars. You still doing that?
I still do it from time to time. I definitely have transitioned a little bit since I put out the Summer Classics album. I definitely still put out a lot of content, on IG and on YouTube just to kind of feed the fans. It's not as much on a weekly basis because, I feel like now I have that fan base built up. So, I want to kind of transition into, making full albums and full projects. And, like I said before, the first of that was the album Summer Classics that I dropped last July. And it's all, kind of led up to this new project, which is Endless Summer, that I just put out last week. So I've definitely kind of transitioned into focusing more on, delivering projects and bodies of work. But that's not to say that, I stop, with the Breakfast Bar stuff. It's just it's not like, every single day or every single week. It's a little more sporadic, but I always try to have something new, every couple of weeks, to kind of feed the beast and make sure that the people that follow me have new content. You know what I mean?
Right, definitely. And, it just really looks like from your entire body of work that, you're changing the times towards the, roots of hip hop and where it began. And, Jay Electronica had given you like some big props. He said you are a bearer of witness that times are changing. You know what I'm saying? So you got to definitely, give you mad respect for that. You really are bringing the real boom bap, hip hop back.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know how to do it any other way. For me, it's like I want to make traditional, hip hop. That's what I grew up on. That's the stuff that inspired me. That's the stuff that made me want to rap. So, I'm just doing what comes naturally to me. You know what I mean? And I just look at it like if there aren't new artists that aren't embracing, that type of sound, or like sample driven East Coast type of hip hop stuff that's rooted in the classics. I just feel like if there aren't new artists embracing that, it's gonna fade away, and I don't want to see that happen. I like to surround myself with other creatives that are like-minded people as well. All the producers that I work with, whether it's Kwame or Statik.
Always wanted to be the next podcast star? So what's the holdup? If you're looking for the easiest way to make your podcast, then listen up. Anchor gives you everything you need to make your podcast in one place for free, which you can use right from your phone or computer. Creation tools allow you to record and edit your podcast so it sounds great. And that's not all. They'll distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard everywhere: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and many more. And you can easily make more money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Ready for your voice to be heard across the globe? So what are you waiting for? Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm, ANCHOR.FM to get started today.
Like a Jake One, those are all people with the same type of mindset. They grew up on a particular brand of hip hop, and they're doing what they can to keep that type of rap music alive. And, I just want to play my part in doing that.
Definitely. Okay. Now, I love to ask this question to everyone that I interview. What does hip-hop mean to you, and how has it changed your life? I know that's a loaded question, but...
Wow. Hip-hop, what does hip-hop mean to me? I mean, to me, hip-hop is ultimately about being yourself. You know what I mean? If you look at, rappers in the 80s, you know what I mean? Like, everyone kind of was their own character in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, before everything was super commercialized and you had a million rappers, it was like, if you wanted to rap, you had to make a statement and be an individual. Slick Rick wasn't like Big Daddy Kane. Big Daddy Kane wasn't like, KRS-One, who wasn't like Public Enemy, who wasn't like the Beastie Boys or Run DMC. So everyone had to stand out and be an individual. And I think at its core, that's what hip-hop is about. Anytime an artist comes out that's special, that makes the world pay attention, it's usually somebody that's bringing something new to the table, somebody that is 100% being themselves on record. And, that's what I try to be. You know what I mean? I try to use hip hop as a medium to tell my story. You know, I'm not trying to be like anybody else. You know, the only person that can tell my story is me. So that's the most important thing to me, just being authentic and, you know, being that same person that I am in real life on record. And I mean, rap has changed my life just in the sense of it gives me an outlet. You know what I mean? I don't think, I don't know if I would be such a sane individual if I didn't have the creative outlet of being able to write songs and, you know, get my feelings out there. I'm sure a lot of artists feel the same way, but yeah, I mean that's a hard question off the top of my head. That's how I feel about it. But yeah, hip hop has changed my life in ways that I probably don't even understand. You know what I'm saying? Like, rapping has put me in rooms with people I would have never gotten the chance to rub shoulders with if I went in another direction. You know what I mean? And it opened my mind to just the world in general. You know, I live in a very sheltered place. You know, it just gave me a lot of world experience and allowed me to, I guess, experience diversity and different types of people and different types of cultures at a young age, when a lot of kids that were, you know, coming up in the same neighborhood as me would have never had that opportunity or experience, you know?
Right, definitely. And I love hearing, you know, the answers to these questions, and especially because, you know, Carrot One, you know, the Temple of Hip Hop, they definitely put out like Hip Hop Appreciation Week. So that's going to be starting tomorrow to the 24th of 2020. So really, it's celebrating the exact same thing that you know, manifesting your mission, you know, just being original and, you know, just really kind of, every artist, you know, really trying to find, you know, their own contribution to the culture. So, you know, definitely, you know, just love hearing the answers to those questions and how, you know, each artist, you know, would like to, really contribute their most true self to the culture itself. You know what I'm saying? So,
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yes. So what's next for, I mean, what's going on for Bobby J all of 2020? Like, you know, you got anything coming up? Anybody, you know, you may want to work with in the future, anything like that?
Well, like I said, you know, the project with Statik Selektah is out now. That came out on May 5th. There's actually 3 videos out for it. You know, the first single that we dropped was a song called Where I'm From. The second single was called Autumn Leaves. And then the third single is a song called Swear to God that I did with this kid, Little D. And there's another single coming out within the next 2 weeks called Ungrateful. That's a collaboration with this dude, Highly Supreme, who's incredible. So yeah, I mean, right now I'm just kind of in project mode promoting that. I have a collaboration coming out on the 25th with a young artist named Joey Bags. And I'm just trying to work this project and stay busy. You know what I mean? Like I stay running and you know, once one thing is in the bag, I'm always looking at what the next project or album or video is going to be. So I just stay working. I stay in the studio. I try to stay busy. So, you know, the people that follow me can expect new music. You know, hopefully, we'll be able to do some shows coming up soon. I mean, you know, that's all up in the air, but, you know, I'm definitely looking forward to getting back out there and you know, getting to interact with fans and hopefully touch a stage or two before, the summer's over.
Okay. Well, where can everyone follow Bobby J and find everything Bobby J as far as your music? Social media, website, where can we find it?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Bobby J from Rockaway, Twitter at Bobby J Rockaway, Facebook.com/Bobby J from Rockaway, and YouTube.com/Bobby J.
Wonderful. Well, Bobby J, we enjoyed having you on the Boom Bap Hour Uncut. Thank you so much for being our guest. Don't go anywhere.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. As always, you're welcome back anytime. Yes. So don't go anywhere. Keep it locked. It's the Boom Bap Hour Uncut, y'all.